AI is an amazing gift we now have, but it can be used in a lot of ways that are not very much beneficial to us in a realistic perspective, say in real time, in real life. So apart from the amazing gorilla videos that are walking around with selfies, fancy AI agents, yeah, pretty much controlling every aspect, almost every aspect of a business or, you know, a certain process. How do we actually make money with AI? And that's the big $1 million question. So what we find is that passive income is the most key aspects to making a decent living without having to put any major effort in. Now, of course, you've got the initial setups, of course, but once it's actually put into place, passive income can bring in an extremely good, very decent revenue on an ongoing basis. Whether you're not available for work or something's happened, or you just want to go away for a little, passive income is always going to make sure that your pockets are full at the end of every month. Now, how do we achieve this? So in this video, I'm going to go through just one passive income product that we've developed that works extremely well and can make some serious cash at the end of each month from recurring revenue. Various channels, of course, such as Amazon KDP. There's also Etsy, Gumroad, of course, through your own website, such as a Shopify website, ecom website, that sort of thing. And we can offer those on a singular basis or on a subscription basis. So you can actually curate a variety of these books. And I'm just giving you books as an example. Of course, we do other types of digital products. We can do journals, so reflective, journals, that sort of thing. So there's a whole bunch of digital products that we can create, but I'm just giving you that one example for today. So moving forward, so the first step in creating this particular digital product or coloring book is we need a theme first. So kinds of books that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, just to give it a go, is basically for kids confidence, books about kids confidence. And I feel that there is a whole area there where we can create some amazing digital products that can assist kids when it comes to things like relaxation, focus, keeping calm, that sort of thing. And so one thing we can do is create a whole series of books in that regard, but I will show you just the one in this particular video. So the first step that we do is we need a prompt. So I've already created a prompt, and we're using ChatGPT 5 at this stage. I feel that it's pretty much, and if you're using ChatGPT 4, I mean, I think 5 now is the, I don't think you can actually choose any other model at this stage besides, yeah. So what we do first is just paste in that prompt or type in the prompt. What I've basically written is we want to create a range of coloring books for kids and adults with learning disabilities and those that just want to tune out and achieve calmness. So we've got both. We've got both there. So so it's not just those that want to, sort of to have some kind of focus, etc., and self confidence. We also want to assist those with some learning disabilities as well. So anyway, so we've now written this also. We want each book to have a cover and back page, and this book is 4-page, so so they could write their name in, and a beautiful message to the reader. We will be generating each image via AI and post editing in Canva, which is what we will be doing. Now I'm going to say yes to that, and then it's going to just do its thing. Won't take very long, and it's going to sort of now outline the structure of each book. So we've got a front cover, back cover, intro pages. So this book is for a welcome message. We've got some main pages as well. So obviously that's to do with the coloring pages, depending on the theme. And then we go down. And then what it does is it pretty much is going to give me just the outline of the books in general. Now, what I'm going to now tell it is, it's actually already, this is how smart AI is, of course. It's advised me, would you like me to draft a full outline for one specific title? So I'm going to actually advise it to, I'm just going to copy that little bit, paste it in there, and draft a full outline. Actually, just draft, actually, I might just advise it to brainstorm 5 ideas coloring books and then see what happens. So, and this is how we work back and forth. So we've got already a few there, a few ideas, which is great. So shine bright little star, which sounds fantastic. And that's for self-confidence and positivity, just some illustration messages, etc., etc. Now, what I will do then is go further. So let's just say I like this first one, right? I'm going to say, okay, so, and at the bottom, it's going to say expand. Do you want me to expand one of these into 20 page outline? Which is fantastic. So it's already ahead of you. Of course, if you want to change this, you can. So if you want to sort of advise it something different, what I tend to do is there are certain digital posts that we create, like instead of doing complete coloring books, we would sort of have, say, a few pages of coloring, or even 1 page or 2 pages of coloring, and then have like a reflection journal in there. So we'd actually have a mixture of different tasks, etc. So it's a bit like not really an activity book. We can actually throw in a puzzle or two as well, which we can also create using things like Canva, etc. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. So I'm going to actually just go to outline, provide a full outline. So provide a full outline I'm just going to, I've just pasted in the title, and it's going to keep going now. Here we go. So now it's given me page 1, it's given me page 2, page 3. So the first 3 pages, of course, are just like your introductory type of pages. And then we go to the main content pages. So we've got like star in the sky, etc., etc. Now, what it's given me as well is the AI prompt. So what this means is actually the image prompt that we're going to use to generate the images for each and every page. Now, let's just say, so the first 3 we typically would have to create with a tool like Canva. And so the first step is basically going into Canva, and we've actually got this set up already. So now with Canva's system, there's an amazing amount of tools here, but basically, as you can see, the first page I'm going to keep for the cover. I'm going to show you how to create a cover soon. The cover is ultimately like a full colored cover. Obviously it can be black and white, but I mean, we like to have a nice, bright, colorful, if it's in this case, because it's a kid's coloring book. And then the second page is pretty much the few pages following is just like the intro pages. So the next one will be just a title. Of course, we'll change this into like a star or something. And then we'll go, this book belongs to, we've got a line there, and it says, this is my book. And then we'll have a little message there. And it follows through with a little welcome message to the reader. And then it basically starts with the actual, and this is just a template that we've created for another different project in the past. It's nothing to do with stars or anything, but we've saved this template, and we have it available for students, whoever wants to sort of have access to this type of template. But anyway, so moving forward, so the most important part, apart from the first few pages, are the main content page. So let's just start with the star in the sky, which is page 4, and it says big star surrounded by clouds. And affirmation is I am unique. So affirmation is ultimately like a message on the page, and it sort of just gives the young reader, it's just a nice, it's exactly what it is. It's an affirmation. So basically they can read that to themselves and just makes them feel better about that particular day or themselves on that day. So let's just say in terms of the AI prompt. So in this case, it's ultimately just copy that. It's a black and white line art of us, a big smiling star floating among fluffy clouds, bold outlines, simple details, coloring book page. Okay, it's actually advised that it's for a coloring book. So now I'm going to go to a tool that is called GenSpark. Now, the reason why I'm not going back to, I can typically go back to ChatGPT and use their own Sora tool, which Sora is basically their image generation tool for ChatGPT. The reason why I don't use that is because you might say, oh, well, look, I have to pay for enough subscription. Fair enough. But ultimately, Sora only allows you to generate 1 image at a time. So you've got to literally wait until that image is finished before the next one can be generated, which is annoying. It takes a lot of time. So with this one, what we can do is it gives you a bunch of different tools that you can use. So you can actually create slides, sheets, docs, you can actually develop websites and stuff on here as well. It's amazing. So feel free to check this out. AI video, you can actually convert video using multiple models, not just one. So I'm going to actually go to new, and I'm going to go to AI image. That's basically what I need. And I'm going to click on generate image. Down below, I've got an entire list of models that I can choose from. I'm just going to click on GPT image because I feel that that's the best kind of image for this particular purpose, and it does listen to your prompts a lot more. Auto size, I always choose 2:3 ratio, which is the vertical ratio as a page. And I'm just going to paste that particular prompt in. Now what it does is it's going to start generating the particular prompt, the image itself based on the prompt. And that should only really take around 30 or 40 seconds roughly to do that. So moving back to the actual content, again, you can actually have the next one ready to go. And then we move from there. So, but either way, that is how you would, first of all, start with your content of the book. Okay, so really it's just a lot of copy and pasting, etc., etc. But then again, in the actual Canva, we will need to create the pages themselves. So it's not just a matter of just, creating these images and then just whacking them all into one document and we're ready to go. No, I mean, there is some form of the human handling, because I feel that even with AI, as brilliant as it is, there always needs to be some kind of human handling somewhere along the line, because it just isn't at that stage. I mean, at the end of the day, there always needs to be some kind of, so post sort of checking, monitoring, curation, that sort of thing. So I don't feel that it's just completely, sort of just let go and just let it do its thing. And here we go. So it's just created a really nice image of a smiling star among fluffy clouds, etc. And this is basically one of the books pages in the coloring book, which is amazing. So I would technically just save this and I would paste it into Canva, and that would be one of the first pages in the book. So I would just click on that image. I would then save this to my hard drive, and then once that's saved, I could then paste that into Canva or drag it, whatever you want to do. I mean, I like to drag things myself. So ultimately we would go to our Canva. And again, you can create sections in the books. I mean, in this case, it was for another sort of client, but we just don't need to do that. So we can delete a lot of your stuff here and then move across to where you actually downloaded the product or the picture on your hard drive and paste it right into Canva. We can enlarge it there. Now you don't need to have a border as I have around there, because I've actually put a black border, but I like the look of it, having a border there. It just gives it a nice, finish. And I think that looks quite nice as it is. Going back to the actual content pages, it basically tells you, okay, so star in the sky. So you can actually use that as the title of the page. So I can actually change this to star in the sky. Affirmation wise, it says here, I am unique. We can basically we can duplicate this. We could probably push it right down the bottom, or even down in between. Down the bottom is probably, I don't know, at this stage, probably nice. I am unique. You can, of course, change the fonts. I'm not really happy with this font, but you can do things like that. There's a lot of beautiful fonts on Canva. But this is just a really rough draft of what you could potentially do. Star in the sky can be a little bigger, and then we can sort of go from there. But you can put it in the middle there. It looks quite nice. And then you move on. And you keep building these pages up, and until you actually have a final book. However, one of the most, if I scroll all the way down, so it's sort of given me the closing pages, etc. But it does also tell me, would you like me to create, fun coloring affirmations, reflecting journal. So it basically gives you a lot of ideas as well. So ChatGPT will give you a lot of ideas. So you can go crazy with this thing, but ultimately this is one way of creating a digital product that's going to make you some really good revenue without having to, So, I mean, obviously, as I said, you put in the work at the beginning, it's sort of, you create an entire range of books, etc. It can be about any topic whatsoever. I mean, I've created on Amazon, this is one of the books that we did, was about yummy ABCs. It was just about, sort of an alphabet adventure for kids. So that's something that we've done in the past. We've done a lot more since then, but of course, that's just an example. We could do anything. So you could sort of think of it doesn't be for kids, it could be for adults. Like the last this is the actual coloring book that we did for adults for a client. For Mind Maze, it's just basically mandalas, etc. And these are all AI generated. Okay, so there's about 60 pages in this particular book. And we created this using the same techniques that I was just showing you in this just earlier. And then once that's done, it can then be published, of course, to KDP. Gumroad is fantastic as well. And then you've got Etsy at the same time where you can create a store there, etc., and sell those through there. And of course, you've then got Facebook, Instagram, you've got Shopify as an e-com store. I mean, if you don't have Shopify, it could be any other type of e-com platform. We just prefer Shopify. And then, of course, through Facebook, we can actually create an entire landing page to sell that particular book or range of books as well. Lots of things to do. But I was just sort of giving you a particular, just an example. Now, one thing that I was going to mention is the front page itself. We would typically ask AI to create a full-colored cover book. Okay. Now, I've already had AI create one earlier on, like a prompt. I'm just going to paste it into the bottom of this box again, into GenSpark. And it's basically saying a whimsical full-color children's book. Actually, I think I've just put down the back cover. So let me just change that. Okay, so now that is the front cover. So basically, children's book cover illustration of a large glowing golden color star with a friendly smiling face radiating warm light in a magical night sky. Okay, awesome. So basically it just goes on. It's really nice. We're going to ask it to generate that particular image, and this is going to be our cover image. Okay, so but we haven't actually added any text to this particular cover. Okay, we're going to do that in post editing in Canva, and I feel that's a lot better because while AI can render text really well, it's amazing. I mean, for example, with this particular one, that's actually rendered through AI. Okay, so these texts rendered through AI, but the problem with that is you can't go back and edit it or change it and things like that. And with AI, of course, once you go back and try and edit it again, it's going to probably more than likely change the entire design again. So, I highly recommend when you create things like covers, just have it create the graphic itself. Okay, and then because Canva itself has amazing tools in terms of text, sort of changing things around, and you have a lot more creative freedom in that way, in that regard. So that's basically now generating that. That's almost finished. As you can see, it's taken literally a few seconds to do. And there you go. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we've got the cover there, I was just thinking of actually just creating a few more designs just to look at. So what I've done is I basically just saved some time and just pasted the same prompt in again. We've got a few different ones. My only concern at this stage with the cover is, as you can see in Canva, what I've done is I've basically put in the title. It seems that it's overlapping the actual star. I mean, if I put it down here, it's a bit too close to the actual bottom, the actual subtitle of the book. So I would rather have it right at the top, which is what I really like, and sort of just to basically have that spacing in between. So the graphic itself has come out where the star and the moon in this case is just way too high up. So I've actually told I've tweaked the prompt a little bit a few times and with no luck. So what we then do is we turn on something called auto prompt, which is down the bottom here. And it starts giving us a bit more different prompts. But again, it's still quite close to the top. So the beauty of GenSpark, again, going back to why I like GenSpark, is the fact that you can use a mixture of agents. So what I've done is I've actually literally chosen a mixture of agents, which means that it chooses 4 agents in particular. Different agents, so we can actually get a selection from 4 different models. And what it's done is, if you scroll down, is it's going to give us 4 completely different types of renders. And one that I really like is one up here, because as you can see from this particular one, that there is lots and lots of space above the star. Now, of course, I mean, I do like the style of that, but just for the purpose of the video, and of course, we can keep generating a few more. We'll get to the one we want. But for the purpose of what I'm actually after, I'm going to save this one just to show you what I mean in terms of having the title right up the top. It looks just a lot better. So I'm going to save that there. And then from then, I'm going to obviously drag it in. So here we go. I'm going to paste that in there. I'm going to overwrite that. As you can see, it's already looking a lot better. So having the title right up the top, and then having the subtitle, just a summary of the book down the bottom. Now, of course, with Canva, we can actually click on effects and I've gone ahead and sort of added a shadow effect. You could sort of do however you like in terms of whatever effects you like, but generally, I don't like big, bold, depending if it's a kid's book. It just depends on what kind of style you're after. I mean, they've got outline as well, so we can actually put an outline there with a black. We could change the thickness there, but again, that's probably a bit too bold, a bit too sort of out there. So you want something that's subtle in this case. So realistically, I'm looking for just something like that, just a nice shadow that can sort of just break up the text from the background, and that looks quite nice. Another option as well is we've actually I created this particular title using Canva's elements. So basically, I went to Canva, the elements on the left. There's some beautiful stars here. Probably not like, I mean, you might find some really nice ones with faces, which is what we're after. But look, I mean, it really depends. I mean, there's one really, that's really nice on there. So you could sort of do something like that and just sort of build it around that. So that's another option, instead of sort of relying on the AI generator. But AI generation, of course, it takes a lot of work out of getting that amazing image. Now, scrolling down, as you can see, we've actually created a nice title page. So we've got Shine Bright Little Star, a coloring journey of confidence and calm. And again, on the title page, we can either get an image generated. We can also use Canva's sort of stock graphics as well. So it really depends on what you want to do. I mean, I'll just put that there for now. And then this book belongs to. This is your special book of light. That's what we've actually written there. And then there's like a nice little welcome message. So, dear little star, this is your book, your safe place to color, dream, and reflect. Every page is made just for you to remind you how special, strong, and bright you truly are. So it just goes on. It's quite nice. And as you can see there, we've already started with the star in the sky. But ultimately, once you actually get started and you build up the book, you have a back cover as well. You can then export it as a PDF. And and then pretty much just have it uploaded to things like KDP, etc. KDP. You also have Gumroad as well, which is a fantastic digital product marketplace. That's something that we also provide our students, our clients, with a sort of a service to actually help them assist with putting it on there. But also mainly is just KDP, which is fantastic because now you've got international publishing rights where you can actually have your publication sold all over the world and printed out for them to enjoy. So you've got Etsy as well. Etsy is a fantastic marketplace for custom-made products, and you could also sell your books through an Etsy store. And of course, then you've got Facebook, Instagram. You've got your own Shopify store. Of course, we assist you with all those different particular channels to actually make a nice revenue on a monthly basis. There is also this particular project I want to show you. This is one that we did not long ago for a client. It's basically for an adult coloring book for stress relief, etc. And as you could see, this is the one that we actually had created earlier, and we used the template on Canva for. But you can actually see this one actually has sections, which you can do. Sections are a fantastic way to actually split up your work, and all these designs are actually AI generated. Amazing what it can do. So with the right prompting and the right techniques, you can create some amazing images, and without any sort of blur or because a lot of when you sort of don't prompt correctly or know how to prompt, a lot of images come out really blurred, really distorted. Lines especially can be quite distorted. So we've actually found a really amazing techniques to actually prompt quite well, so it comes out nice and it's just almost perfect, really. So you wouldn't even know that it's been AI generated. If you like this content about coloring books being generated by AI, we primarily focus on passive income. And if it's something that you're interested in and have some ideas of your own, please feel free to get in touch. Obligation free, of course. And I'd love to discuss it with you further. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.